All right, it's the Freeform Rock Podcast after show, and I got fucking Ryan T. Russell here. I got Tim Raznick, and there's lots of music to talk about. The thing that I've been talking about lately is like the Cult. I think they are the most underrated band, besides Cheap Trick, underrated band of all time, and nobody talks about them, and it pisses
I don't
me
know about
off.
the most, but they're there.
I'm a huge Cult fan.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. They're
Have
there,
been
but they're not the
pretty
most.
much pretty much 87 on. I got into them with Electric and then I went backwards, got Love, and then but pretty much I don't love what they've produced the last, whatever it is, 15, 20 years, but that's not all
Oh,
that much not all that much
I,
different.
I love their album Beyond Good and Evil. I absolutely adore that album.
I like about half of it. The other half I
Oh, I
doesn't
love the
do
whole
much for
thing,
me.
start to finish.
Of their like post kind of popular era stuff, the album I probably like the most is that self-titled Cold album from like 90.
the one with Drug Tongue coming down,
Yeah,
Drug Tongue.
love
Yeah.
it, love it.
The Goat
That's
album. Yeah, that's a great album.
very cool album.
But I think the most overlooked album is Born Into This.
Yeah, good album.
That
Yeah,
is a
you
great fucking album,
posted
man.
that track on Freeform, and that was good.
Saw
Love the
that.
bass line
I
on
saw that tour. I've seen them probably 6, 7 times. They're a good live band, but it's funny. Ross from, or was it? No, it was actually Mooger Fluger who had mentioned it. Always get a little frustrated that Ian live holds back a little bit. I feel like he could give more than he does sometimes, and he does not. Like some singers, they just can't hit the note. Other singers feel like it being a little lazy sometimes, and Ian to me has always been a little lazy live.
Yeah,
Um,
some singers they can't hit the notes. Some singers you're like you're not even trying to hit the notes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cult shows I've been to where, and it's not the whole show. It'll just be like little points here and there where like there's certain songs where he's really going all out. And then like I'll give you a good example. They did a tour mid like probably 2005-ish where they played Love start to finish. And you could tell the songs they hadn't played in a while, he was really singing. I mean, he like Rain and Nirvana and like some of these songs that just weren't like staples in the set list. Like he was really singing them and they sounded incredible. And I think it was just because they were songs he hadn't sung in a while. So there was like a newness to it. So he's probably a
Yeah,
little more into singing it and giving it a little more effort. Whereas like
yeah.
Sweet Soul Sister was always like one of those songs where he's just like, sweet soul sister. Like he doesn't do the like sweet soul, like the full like get it out. And it's like I think he's just played the song so many times he's almost like bored with it. But I don't mean to shit on it too much. I love the Cult. I have everything they've ever released. Even like they had a really cool box set that came out like early 2000s, like had a bunch of unreleased stuff on it. I have everything the Colts ever released. Great band.
I,
Well,
I,
at least he's not like Vince Neil and has the audience sing 90% of the
Oh
song.
God, nothing,
I,
nothing worse than Vince.
the last album they released, Under the Midnight Sun, with Mirror, A Cut Inside, Vendetta X, Give Me Mercy. God dang, that was like love. It was like goth, old Colt with a little bit of fucking great guitar work by Billy Duffy. And I don't think this band has ever released a bad album. It's like they
I wouldn't
don't
say
get enough
bad.
credit.
They just like many bands, like the stuff in the last 20 years for me just doesn't hold up to the first 5 or 6.
Oh,
It
that
doesn't mean they're bad. I think they've done pretty solid stuff.
Well, I
Listen,
mean,
I give credit to any band that's just still like at least putting the effort into putting new
yeah,
music out because a lot of these bands
bands
don't.
like the Cult to me, I mean, they started in what, the 80s, 84,
yeah.
80.
I think actually like the first like the Southern Death Cult that's like 82 or 83.
Okay,
Like
They are touring as Death Cult right now. They
since
are doing shows
82
like
to
that.
oh, are they doing some of that
2025.
older shit?
Yeah, they are during S Death Cult right now. Like they have some shows in LA. I would like to go see that shit. It's
That
like,
stuff's that's a little bit I mean, do you know that early stuff?
oh yeah, I love that
Yeah, I mean
shit, man.
that's a kind of a whole different ball, and it's good, but it I don't like it as much as what there's so
Oh
many of those
no.
bands that like their first like EP or their first like independent album, you can tell like they're kind of sniffing around what they would turn out to be, but like they weren't quite there yet. That's kind of what I think of that like early cult stuff. Like you can hear little kernels of what it was going to turn into, but it wasn't there yet. But it's still cool.
But
Still very cool,
I
cool
think
vibe.
Billy Duffy is one of the most underrated guitar players of all
Uh,
time.
I agree. Just such a cool. Like tone is so cool, so huge with me with guitarists, and I think not only did he always have a good tone, but his tone kind of changed from album to album. Like you look at Love, where he had that really kind of lush, like layered,
Yeah.
atmospheric guitar, like the She Sells Sanctuary, and then you go to Electric, which I will give Rick Rubin credit because he had a lot to do with what changed the sound of that album. But like to go from that atmospheric stuff to the more just crunchy
Eric Clapton shit.
Gibson, Gibson Les Paul, AC/DC kind of like just straight riffs, and
yeah,
they
and then
both,
down the line he went kind of goth,
yeah. Well, no,
kind of
their early shit is
industrial
very
goth,
good.
you know.
Yeah, very goth.
Dreamtime
So
is totally goth. It's
yeah,
like,
Dream
But like,
Times '84. Let me see, where's the yeah, and then like the Southern Death Cult, which was right before that, would have been like '83.
yeah.
but
But
like, but like band like a band like the Cult from 82 to 2025. It's Murphy's Law. They're gonna release some bad albums. That's Murphy's Law. And it's like you got to take the good with the bad. You got to take that's a great album to, well, I wasn't so happy with that, but I'm still
Yeah,
a fan.
yep, no doubt.
but fucking
Aerosmith
ceremony,
comes to mind. You
ce-
know?
like ceremony, god damn, that is my favorite the cult album ever. It's like with White, Wild Hearted Sun. It's like, god damn, that album is fucking so different from anything they've ever done. And it's like fucking like the Doors, Jim Morrison shit, what they were doing on that album. Fucking White is my all-time favorite cult song.
Really?
Yeah, I love White. It's fucking, I just listen to that song and I go, White, White. It's like,
Yeah, that's
God,
of all their albums in that like era, that's the one I like the least.
really, I love Ceremony.
Yeah, Ceremony just doesn't do it for me. I like it
Oh,
coming off of Love, Electric
Sonic Temple.
into that. It was just a huge
Was
dis.
after Sonic Temple, but fucking Wild Hearted Sun, White.
I like
God
Wild
damn.
Heart and Sun, but
White is
So,
like one of the best songs they've ever done in their career
as
to
well
me.
as Sonic Temple sold, I don't think they made it as a as an album that was gonna sell. Like some bands you can, like Aerosmith Pump. You can put that on, you're like, oh, they wrote that song for a single, and oh, they wrote this song for a single, and and it's like pop dumb, that's what I call it. And I don't think so. I just think Sonic Temple, they put it out just like any other album, and people dug it.
I agree. I mean, other than maybe Edie Chow Baby, which is even that, it's not like it's a generic like hold your lighter in the air
Oh,
ballad. It's a pretty
they
smart, it's pretty smart, kind of deeper ballad than your average ballad.
and they got
I,
strings in that and the whole 9 yards, and it's like,
Beautiful song.
oh, you know.
Yeah,
Was
and
it?
I mean I love Sun King, and that's a great. I saw right before the pandemic. I think it was. I saw that they did a tour where they played Sonic Temple in its entirety, and I saw that. That was really cool to hear.
That's a great album, but my favorite album by them has always been Ceremony. I like
Oh, mine's
Ceremony.
electric.
Electric is like totally like what is it called? Cream. It's more cream feel to me. And
Well,
I think Ceremony was more of them. And Sonic Temple was more of what they wanted to do to me.
I will agree with that. I mean, there's no doubt that for Electric, Ruben kind of pushed them in a certain direction. But I just the weirdness of a band that at that time was just kind of a goth, you know, European sounding band, and where you kind of took those songs and like played them as if they were AC/DC. There was something that was just so fucking cool about that.
I don't
Like,
know. They always sounded
I
English to me.
I don't
yeah,
like I
Not so
like
much
all
European,
cult
but
the cult
English.
albums. I like every album they've ever released. They are just so amazing. Like Rush. I don't like the first Rush album as much, but then Neil Peart came in with fucking Fly By Night and it was amazing.
so
I
you
didn't.
you even like the mid '80s, late
Oh,
'80s?
I love Power Windows. I love fucking
I love
the
Signals.
first tour I saw with them was Hold Your Fire.
Yeah,
So,
those albums lose me, but I mean, I like the overwhelming majority of Rush's catalog.
but
And
if
actually,
you
I just got Clockwork Angels on vinyl. They just read. I'm so happy too because there is this.
they
Are you
really,
guys vinyl guys? Are you?
I got a lot of vinyl right on the side of me
I got
right here.
everything. I got vinyl, I got CD, I got
They got Clockwork
digital.
Angels on vinyl that I could buy at a good price
I even
right
got eight
now.
tracks.
Yeah, they just did a second pressing of it where I got it on like Amazon for. I mean,
Oh,
it wasn't cheap, but it was like $30, $35.
oh God, that is amazing. I need to go look for that.
Yeah, because I mean, for years since it came out, you couldn't find it for less than like 80, $90.
I know, that's why I didn't buy it. You know,
And there's also the place, I don't know if it like Wax Sabbath, I think it's called. There's a Facebook page that Johnny Vogan introduced me to that does a lot of these bootlegs of like albums you just can't find on vinyl. Like I got Badlands from on that.
oh, I need Badlands
I
so
got like
bad.
Cinderella Still Climbing on that.
I
Just
need
band
Still Climbing too.
like albums that you're never gonna find on vinyl unless somebody.
You should tell Johnny Vogan to stop hating me. I have no problem with that guy.
I haven't talked to Johnny in a while.
Yeah, Johnny doesn't like me for some reason. I have that personality that people get pissed off at me.
Original pressing.
Oh, nice.
Oh, love it, love it.
I had that CD when it first came out. I was amazing. I
Yeah,
heard
I still
fucking
have. I bought it. I think if I didn't buy it the day it came out, I bought like that week.
dude,
Yeah,
I had
absolutely.
that as
I even
fucking
saw them live. Saw
Voodoo
them Great
Yeah,
White
Highway.
Tesla.
I
who
had
would
Voodoo.
would you see him with?
Great White and Tesla.
Yeah, so
Nice.
same tour.
I
Um,
never saw Great White live, which sucks. I did see Jack Russell's Great White, which before he passed. And
you watched that Great White Doc?
oh God, that's sad.
What the fuck was that whole thing about? Like he like tried to like kill some like maid or something. Like that was the craziest story I've ever heard.
Well, I know
Dude,
Jack Russell
he
went to
went to
jail.
jail. He didn't
Yeah,
he go to jail
yeah,
and
he was in jail for like 5 years.
he was in jail for like 5 years, man.
He's seriously lucky he wasn't put away for life.
God dang, that guy was crazy.
He was a mess.
But
He's
a
a fucking
fuck,
mess.
what a voice. What
Yeah,
a voice that guy had.
not a big Great White fan.
Oh, I love Jack Russell's voice. Fucking Rock Me.
No, I mean,
Save Your Love is like one of the best ballads of all time, man.
he can sing. I just don't love their music.
Oh, I love Great White. I love fucking the guitar player, man. I love his fucking shit.
Kendall.
Yeah, Mark Kendall's
Hey,
fucking
they just
great.
played that festival I was at. I didn't see him though.
That new singer is pretty good. Yeah, I didn't like what was the guy from XYZ? I didn't like that guy.
Harry Elias.
Eloise, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't like
He was in
Terry
XYZ, YYZ, something
Illinois.
like that.
He's
Yeah,
like he sang for everybody.
that guy
I
didn't
think he
fit
started
Great
out
White
though
at
with
all.
XYZ.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't sound good with Great White. The new guy, the new kid, sounds great with Great White. And what's that one guy who said he was in Van Halen? My God, that guy was horrible.
Oh, Mitch
Mitch
Malloy.
Malloy.
Mitch Malloy. What the
Terrible.
fuck? Yeah, that guy is like one of the worst singers I have ever. Van
You know
Halen
what's
3.
crazy about it though? It is like as legendary as Eddie Van Halen is, and you know, he's my favorite guitarist of all time.
Exactly.
But the fact that that guy was almost the lead singer of Van Halen tells you like just kind of how clueless Eddie was at like doing anything other than just writing and playing guitar. Like he didn't he needed that other guy to kind of lead the band and do everything.
All you need to do,
And
all you need to do to know that is listen to Sammy Hagar lyrics on Sammy
exactly.
Hagar.
Exactly. And
Hey,
it's like
I
he
I
almost he
mean,
almost hired Patty Smythe for the job.
yeah,
He almost
Patty
hired
Smyth. Yeah, that was horrible.
hired Mitch Malloy for the job, and then he hired Gary Sharon for the job. Like Eddie was clueless when it came to like picking a great lead singer.
I hated that Van Halen 3 album. I bought it when it first came out. I hated it. I'm a huge Extreme fan, and I hated that Van Halen 3 album. But when I went back to it like 20 years later, I'm going, there's some good songs on here. Fire in the
Yeah.
Hole
Yeah.
and some good stuff on there. It's
No,
not a
no, there's
complete
not.
great album, but
Yeah.
there is some good songs in it. And Gary
No, there's
Sharon
not.
said that they pushed that album out too fast and they got the songs right on tour.
Well, I mean,
Eddie
they pushed
Eddie
the
was
album. I
fucked
mean,
up at that.
Without You was big on MTV. Well, but video and it sucked.
But the
It
thing
fucking
is that
sucked.
the thing is they didn't have time to flesh out that album till they went on tour.
They didn't have time to do anything with Van Halen too, for Christ's sakes.
No,
Van
They
and
got
Halen 3
back
is
from tour and
amazing.
the record company said, you have 2 months to give us another album, according to your contract.
yeah,
So,
I mean Eddie was just too fucked up at
and
that
I
time.
mean 2 months, and I mean from writing to recording it,
Yep.
not go in the studio and record tracks they already got, writing it and recording it. To
I
what?
love Gary Sharon. I love
And it's the band that sold
you know,
how many millions of albums on that debut album?
exactly 10 million, right? Diamond.
Well, I don't know if it didn't go diamond initially. It went diamond
No,
over
but it
time.
sold at least a couple
But
million
it sold a
Hey,
couple million, a few
Doc,
million.
Dr. Fuck always gets on me about this. I said, I love Daily Roth. I like Sammy Hagar, but I like David Lee Roth, Van Halen better than Sammy Hagar. He always gets on me about that shit. But the
Well,
thing is, it's the truth because David was Van Halen. Sammy was okay with Van Halen. I love the
that's
Sammy stuff,
that's the only
but I
Van
go
Halen
back.
there is.
I go back to the David stuff more than the Sammy stuff.
But that's the only Van Halen there is. The other band was Van
I
Van
agree with
Halen.
you guys on that. I agree
And
with you
why they
guys on
didn't
that.
change the name, I have no idea. But
Yeah, they should have changed the name.
They
It's
should
just a
have changed the
it's a
name.
completely different band.
It's a
that's the
completely
only concert I ever walked out on.
Which tour?
5150. Saw it in Norfolk, Virginia when I was in the Navy.
I went to the Monsters of Rock show. Van Halen, Scorpions,
Mm-hmm.
Metallica,
Dawkins.
Doc, and Kingdom Come, and we, me and like five buddies, all left after Scorpions finished. Didn't even watch the Van Halen set.
You didn't watch the Dawkins one? Dawkins was probably
No, I
horrible.
watched Dokken. Van Halen was the headliner. It was actually Dokken. As much as I love Dokken, they
They,
were on fumes at that point. I mean, that was right before they broke up. They played a decent set, but it wasn't great.
dude, I saw
Metallica
Dawkins.
easily like won the day. The Metallica was amazing.
I
You know,
saw
Metallica
Dawkins.
played second in that set. It
Yeah.
was Kingdom Come. Metallica was playing at like I don't know 3 in the afternoon.
I saw Dawkins open up for at the Long Beach Arena where you got Bruce Dickinson. Scream for me, Long Beach. I saw them open up for Aerosmith on the was
Permanent
Permanent
Vacation.
Vacation Tour.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
saw the same too.
Dawkins was horrible. God
Horrible.
damn, they were horrible.
Really?
They were bad. It's like,
I, I saw the same tour. I saw it in Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. I thought it was a good double bill. I thought they were both very good.
well, when I saw them in Long Beach, uh, George was like fucking like blasting his guitar over Don's vocals.
Just a
The
bad mix.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was a bad mix. But when I saw them on at the House of Blues in LA, which is no longer there, I saw them on what's that tour with the Crazy Mary and shit.
Dysfunctional?
No, not dysfunctional.
No,
It was
not George.
it was not George. It was Red Beach.
Oh, Erase the Slate.
Erase the Slate. That was amazing. They were amazing in the
Dude had
House
Red
of
Beach on
Blues.
guitar.
They were amazing. Don sounded great. Red Beach sounded great. But when I saw them on Back for the Attack, they were horrible.
I mean, they were never a phenomenal live band, but I saw a couple decent shows. I mean, listen, I mean, Don could never sing like he did on the album, but he sang all right until the late '90s. And but I mean, God, the last 20 years, it's like going and watching William Shatner sing Dokken. It's fucking
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, man. Come on.
Oh, but on that, when I saw the Van Hagar, Bachman Turner Overdrive opened
yeah.
for him
I remember
and
that
blew
tour.
him away. I mean, blew him. It wasn't even close. Eddie should have been taking guitar lessons from Randy Bachman.
Yeah, I the only Hagar era show that I ever saw was the OU81 tour when OU812 tour when they toured by themselves. I had a buddy in high school, and like he knew I didn't like Sammy, but he was just like this, like we're a super nice guy, and he kept on bugging me. He's like, "Come on, just go see him." He's like, "I know you don't love Sammy, but just go see him." And I went and saw the show, and I like just kind of suffered through it, but it was like the whole segment in the middle where Sammy was doing his own little thing. And, you're going from Roth doing his Ice Cream Man segment to him doing, when eagles fly and this just fucking
Doing jumping
nonsense.
jacks on the
This
stage.
is terrible. This,
And what drove me out was I think it was the third song, I forget what it was. And Eddie was on this side of the stage and Mikey was on this side of the stage. And they were supposed to do a simple run and cross till, Mikey was on this side and Eddie was on this side. But they hit each other. They came out drunk. They were already caught.
what, and you said this is 5150 tour?
Yeah. And
Wow.
they hit each other. And they both fell down. And everybody started laughing. Sammy was laughing his ass off, and the only person that wasn't laughing was Alex because he was up there. He's so fucking stoned, he didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like, "That's it." So I went out. I saw him at the Norfolk Scope. I went out, and across the street from the Norfolk Scope, there was this bar that had a Dio tribute band playing, and I was like, so I still had a great night, But it was like that was $20 I just wasted. Actually, I didn't waste it because
Hey, thank God it wasn't today where you wasted 150 or $200.
oh, this is back 85. So
So,
I,
actually, Mark, I ask you about this. What do you think about the whole Sammy like calling out Alex and saying like, we're not talking anymore when Alex hasn't said a fucking word to him for 25 years?
Alex is suing him.
I said this on the BS sessions. I go, Sammy, what the fuck are you talking about? Alex isn't saying shit about you, but you're calling it Alex out. That's bullshit. You need. Why are you talking about Alex when he isn't talking about you?
Why is he
Alex
talking
hasn't
about
said a
anything
word
other?
about Sammy in 20 years. And it's like,
Right?
but here's the thing. And I mean, like Sammy or not, Sammy is an absolute narcissist.
I
And
agree with you on that.
And
Oh, he's got an
there,
ego.
there is one way to piss off a narcissist more than any other way is to just ignore them.
Yeah, just not
Right?
talk about him.
Alex gets that. Alex understands what pisses Sammy off. Alex doesn't like Sammy. So
No.
Alex says, I know what will piss Sammy off more than anything else is if I don't even acknowledge him. And that is exactly what Alex has done. He has pressed that button, and Sammy is like just dropping his pants, doing exactly what Alex knew he would do and lose his shit over. Alex doesn't have to say a word, and he is
Exactly.
infuriating.
Alex
I heard Alex's book, and Alex didn't talk shit about Sammy
didn't
at all, and that pissed Sammy
didn't
off.
say anything negative, just
Didn't say anything about him at
nothing.
all. No.
Oh, matter of fact, he stopped when Sammy joined the band. That's when he stopped the book.
Well, and it's even better, like some of the stuff he
Hey,
said in interviews since then, where he said like the rock and roll was over at that point.
I
And I
am a,
understand what he's saying. I don't think he's saying it to like say like they didn't make rock music anymore. I think what he's saying is like when the Roth era ended, it stopped being just this crazy roller coaster ride that the four of those guys were riding and became a business and became like serious work rather than just being like we're going to
Well,
ride this
rock and
thing where
roll
it
did
takes us.
stop. Pop music started.
Yeah,
And,
he's
and I've
more
said
or less said that.
I have said it on this program more times than I care to count, and I will say it till we don't have a program anymore. Those mansions
we
aren't
will
cheap.
always have a program, Tim.
We need a hit. We need a hit, and we need it right now. And
Right now.
that weren't the case with when they started them first six albums. It was let's put out a Van Halen record.
Yeah, and it was literally from the time they got that record deal and did Van Halen 1, it was a nonstop just cycle,
Mm-hmm.
tour album, tour album, tour album. And that was, I don't think they had time to even stop and breathe or think about it. It was just, they were just doing whatever it took to get to the next tour, the next. And I think like when it broke and that whole, I think Alex is being very genuine when he says like it was never the same. It just wasn't.
I agree with Alex on that. I do like the Van Hagar, but the like Dr. Fuck always gets on me, Raphael. He always gets on me because I said, yeah, the Daily Roth shit is the best, but I like Van Hagar also. But I'm not gonna like not say I don't like the Van Hagar, because I do
Yeah,
like
that's fair
Sammy.
enough. I mean, and listen, I as big a Van Halen fan as I was in 1984 and 85 when 5150 came out, I bought it the day it came out, and I liked a decent
Me
amount of
too. And I
50.
left it in the parking lot of the mall I bought it in after I
Yeah.
listened to it.
No, and I have vivid memories of like,
And,
listening. There's still some songs I like, and then I think the song 5150 is a really cool song. I mean, musically, I think it's incredible.
And
And to be
I still say that Alex Van Halen from Van Halen 2, if he could have, would have gone back in time, or actually, yeah, gone back in time and kicked the shit out of Alex Van Halen on 5150
oh God, the
for
electronic
using synth
drums.
drums. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
really. I mean, you started to hear a little bit of it on 84, but
Yeah.
man, 80, Jesus Christ, on
You started
50.
hearing a little bit of 5150 on 84, the whole keyboard.
Yeah, but
but I'm gonna
and
say,
even more so on OU 812. I mean,
wasn't that
Jesus, the
Alex?
drums in OU 812 are
But wasn't
embarrassing.
that Alex and Eddie going in that musical direction? Because they wanted Patty Smythe.
Well, Eddie was always there. I mean, he used keyboards on Fair Warning.
But I'm just saying that you can't blame Sammy for the direction they
No,
went into
I don't.
because those two wanted to go into that direction.
And I
Listen, the
keep
Van
telling
Halen
you,
thing was going to blow up whether Sammy got involved or not. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean,
well, it
being
did
as
blow
big
up.
a fan as I was of the Roth era, I don't think it would have mattered who the next singer was. But like, it's more
It
what
did blow
happened
up because Roth
to
left
me.
or was fired or whatever.
To me, with like Sammy, like I didn't hate Sammy in 1988, 89, 90. I just didn't like Van Halen anymore. It wasn't like I like fuck Sammy Hagar. Like I just didn't care. I like moved on and listened to other bands. I didn't start hating Sammy Hagar until 2007 when Roth came back and Sammy just started like a literal like 2 decade campaign on just every interview he ever did, bashing the shit out of Dave, Eddie, Alex, Van Halen, everything. Just jealous girlfriend bullshit for 2 decades. That's what made me hate Sammy Hagar. I honestly, prior to the reunion with Dave, like I didn't even think about Sammy Hagar. It's just like he might as well have been like fucking I don't know, Conway Twitty. Like he's just like a fucking artist I don't like. Like I don't care, I don't hate him, I don't love him. I just don't give a shit about him. But once he made it his mission to like shoehorn Van Halen into every fucking interview he does and shit on them at the same time, that's when I decided I hated fucking Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off. David doesn't talk as much shit about Sammy, but Sammy likes to talk shit about
Well, because
David a
Dave
lot.
lives in Sammy's head rent free. Sammy knows he's the second guy. Sammy knows his albums didn't
He
sell
is
any.
the second guy. I agree with that. I do like the material they put out with Sammy, but fuck it, I go to Fair Warning more than any other fucking Van Halen album.
Well, like David Lee Roth said in an interview, they said difference between me and Sammy Hagar. Sammy Hagar comes to town and he throws a party.
I am no
And,
party.
and the interviewer says, "Yeah, so." And David Lee Roth looks at the camera and says, "Well, I am the party."
I was happy to see David at M3 just sitting there just smiling his fucking face off, fucking kicking ass.
I will say I was at that show and I'm a big Roth loyalist, but I'm also a very realistic Roth fan. Like I know he can't sing anymore. Um, I know there were certain songs in the 12 tour and the 15 tour with Van Halen that I was like, they just shouldn't be playing these songs anymore. He can't sing them. But there's other songs he does fine. He does well. But I went into the M3. I was more there for the Piercy DiMartini thing
Oh,
than I was
I would have loved to see that.
than I was for Dave. But obviously I had tickets for all 3 nights, so we went and saw Dave. But I went into Dave like almost scared. Like I was almost like, Jesus Christ, does he really
That's
want to
what a
like
lot
come
of
back?
people thought about. They were going to be scared about him,
No, I was. And I was like, as a Roth loyalist, I'm like, is he gonna fucking embarrass himself? Like, what is this gonna be? Like, I mean, I was like, it wasn't terrific in 15, and we're like a decade later, and like the stuff on the Kiss tour was it was unbelievably mediocre.
Horrible.
And so I went in, and all my buddies I was with, we were kind of the same, like, what the fuck is this going to be? Like, who's his band? What's it going to sound like? But man, I'll tell you what, he wasn't even done with Panama. And we were all kind of looking at each other and like, wow, like, this is impressive. Like, it sounded great. Not that like he was singing like he was 25 again or anything, but he was taking it seriously. He was singing, mostly, the original melody and man, people can make fun of the, say the whatever, boys to men background, but anybody that doesn't understand the dynamic of what David Lee Roth brought to the heavy metal sensibilities of the Van Halen brothers, what was brilliant and what made Van Halen so unique was that Dave took those kind of like Motown sensibilities with background vocals.
Exactly.
Dave was singing like a James Brown guy where he's scatting and shouting and hooting and hollering and entertaining while the real singing's being done by the four guys behind him who were doing the harmonies. And he's just kind of shouting and eking. And that's where Dave came from. That's what Dave brought to Van Halen. So people that I saw on social media were like, what the hell does he have four black guys behind him singing background vocals? I'm like, if you don't get that, if you don't understand that that's like where that all generated, that was the genesis of the sound of Van Halen, you're clueless. That's what made Van Halen brilliant. You had a guy like Dave who came from Motown sensibilities with those background vocals, throwing it into heavy metal songs. That's why they were so unique, why they were so cool. So I loved the four background vocals. I thought it was perfect.
I
It
agree with
covered
that.
for
That was
stuff that Dave
amazing
can't do
stuff,
anymore.
man.
It gave you thick, loud harmonies the way they're meant to sound on Van Halen songs. And those guys did an incredible job. And not just the four background guys, the bassist and the guitarist were singing background too. So you had big, loud, thick choruses, and it sounded awesome, awesome. And
Rada
all
shoot you
five of us that I
long.
was there with, if it
That's
Drop
Dave.
Dead Legs was the second song he played, and we were like, holy shit, like he's going deep. He
Yeah.
played, obviously did the barbershop quartet thing with On the One with, and he did it right in front of the background singers, and he did even like a James Brown thing where he like fainted back into them and they caught him. But that, like, people that don't get that, Dave always borrowed from that kind of genre. That's what made Dave Dave. Like, if you don't get that, then you never got Van Halen.
No.
Not only that, you also have to remember that David Lee Roth's 70 some odd years old now.
Yeah, he
He's
grew
not
up on
spring
old
chicken by
music.
any stretch.
Yeah,
And
but
he's still up
I will
there on
say
stage, jumping around. And
he
I
was
wish
in
he
as
had,
good form as I've seen him, and I've seen him in every era of his life. I saw him when he was playing tiny little places when nobody gave a shit about
Yeah.
him.
You know what, Ryan? You should have like Joseph Staub and Brad Dahl were there also at the
Yeah,
Anthony.
it's so funny. I go back and forth with Staub all the time, and we always mean to meet up, and we just never get around to
Yeah,
it. I
Joseph
feel
Staub
bad.
is an amazing guy, man.
Yeah, he seems like a really good dude. I mean, I was
And
at
you
a
would have got
bunch of
along
big
with
shows
Brad
that he
Dahl
was at.
too,
We
man.
have to get together at some point.
You guys all need to get together because he's an amazing guy.
But
He's
yeah, that
like
was
a,
a fun weekend, and Rat was fun. Rat, I wouldn't say they were as good. I will say this: I've seen hit or miss shows for DeMartini. The last time I saw him at M3, he was sloppy as hell. He looked like he didn't even want to be there. He was really into it, and he ripped. He was fucking terrific. Um, Piercy just is what Piercy is at this point. He can barely sing. But their band was solid. Cavazo was good. Um, he had Blas Elias from the old
oh,
Slaughter drummer
Slaughter.
on
I love
drums.
Lost, man.
I saw,
He did a nice job, and their set list was good. They did a good. It was a fun weekend.
I
I've
saw
been going to
Rat.
that. I've been going to that festival forever. This year was kind of weird. With like the undercard, I wasn't all that interested in. I kind of just went to the headliners. I went to Sebastian on Friday.
I heard Sebastian kicked ass though.
He was solid. The only thing I've seen Sebastian so many times because he's at a lot of these festivals I've been to. He just his set list is almost like the same fucking thing every time you see him. And it's not, listen, for somebody who's never seen him before, it's a lot of fun. It's an
But I
entertaining
heard he
show. It's
played a
great.
lot of his new solo album though.
I played like 3 songs from it, but like everything else, I could have written you the set list before we went there. I knew exactly who was going to play, and it just gets a little old. Like I liked when he did the tour where he played all of Slave to the Grind. I'd love to see him do a tour where he'd play all of Subhuman Race, but I know
Oh,
that's not.
I love Subhuman Race.
Love Subhuman Race, but
Fucking
overall, it was
incredible.
a very me and this group of guys. We've been going to that festival forever. It's about an hour and a half from where I live, and it's just a good celebration of that, like '80s metal stuff. I've seen so many great shows at that thing between Cinderella and Rad and Sebastian. Tesla's played it a bunch.
Hicks.
Queensryche's
I,
played it a bunch.
I saw Rat so long ago. Bon Jovi opened for
Oh wow.
Actually, first time I ever saw Rat, they Out of the Cellar tour opened up for Billy Squire on his Signs of Life tour.
No, this is on your
Great
Invasion
double
of
bill.
Privacy tour. And Bon Jovi was on their 7800 Fahrenheit tour. And they opened them.
Nice.
And I was like, wow, who's this band? Well,
Very cool. Very cool.
All right, man. Anything else you guys want to say? We're
Yeah, I
good.
gotta hit it. I'm looking at the clock now. It's almost 1:30
Yeah, I gotta get the fuck
Eastern
out of here
Standard
too,
Time.
man. You guys fucking rule. Thank you, Ryan. We need to get you back on here, man.
Appreciate you having me, brother. It was fun.
All right. And Tim, I love you, brother.
Good to meet you, Tim.
you too,
Yeah,
Ryan.
Tim is a fucking great guy.
I was saying to him when you went to the bathroom or whatever, like Tim's one of those names I see all the time on the different Facebook pages or whatever, and I
Yeah.
know we've
Yep,
gone
that's
back and
me.
forth.
Dude, the guy bought a fucking camera to get on these shows. He fucking rules. I
It's
love
great.
the guy.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
love the whole community. I mean, there's just so many cool people that we all have one thing in common, just a love for music, and it's good release, man. It's good, we go through the bullshit of regular life and our jobs and everything. It's nice release to have a couple drinks and just bullshit about stuff we like.
Right on, man. That's what I love, man. That's why I do this shit. Thank you guys for being on the Freeform Rock Podcast after show. You guys have a great night. Later, guys.
Peace.
Take it easy,
Peace.
guys.
Bye.